Hi, I'm Anne-Marie DeWitt of Fireside Games. I'm the designer of Munchkin Panic, which is based on the game design of Castle Panic by Justin DeWitt of Fireside Games, and Munchkin by Steve Jackson of Steve Jackson Games. With Munchkin Panic, you basically have the Munchkin monsters invading the Castle Panic world. They want to take out all 6 of your towers, and you want to slay all of the Munchkin monsters. You have to have at least 1 tower standing to win, having slain all the monsters, and have the highest number of hit points in your hand in terms of slain monsters at the end of the game to be declared the Master Munchkin. So the way you go about doing that is following the order of play. You will have a hand of cards. So if it's a 4-player game, you're going to have 5. You also start off with 1 treasure card. It's the only treasure card you get for free. The rest you have to earn by slaying monsters. The first thing you'll do is discard 1 of your castle cards. That's always optional, but it's a way to manage your hand if you have a card that's not so useful on your turn. For example, this green swordsman is not very useful to me because there are no monsters in the green swordsman area. So I would discard that, get a new castle card, and then proceed to the next step, give charity. With Give Charity, you can only have a maximum of 3 treasure cards in your hand at one time. Any in excess that you have at that point, you would have to discard if you're the person with the lowest number of hit points and monsters, or give to your opponent player who has the lowest number. So one way or another, you're not getting past this step on your turn with more than 3 treasure cards in your hand. The next thing that you'll do is play cards, negotiate, and get trophies. And this is where you're going to play cards to slay as many monsters as you can on your turn. So you'll be matching up the cards in your hand with the different areas of the board. This is a red archer, so it will be effective in this red archer area. And you can hit and track damage right on the monsters like that. This is a 3-point face sucker, but I just hit him with a 1-point red archer, so I was able to rotate him down 1 point of damage. Whatever's pointed toward the center of the castle is always the active number of hit points. I keep playing like that for doing as much damage as I can. There are weapon cards from the treasure deck. If you're using a weapon, you have to use it with a hit card. And you can only use 1 weapon with 1 hit card. And I might get to a point, you can play as many cards as in your hand, out of your hand, as you have valid targets on the board. So if I was able to play my entire hand, I could do so. But after, or at some point when I'm playing cards, I could also ask if anyone wants to help me. I can only take 1 card from 1 other player for help. And you want to negotiate a deal. The person is not going to just give you their card for free, or if they do, that's very nice, but they will not win. So they're going to try to negotiate something. They're either going to want the treasure, so you'll see the gold dots on the monster tokens. That tells you how much treasure they're carrying. So when you slay this monster, this is the face sucker, he's got 1 treasure. So when you slay him, you'll also get 1 treasure card. So someone might say, you can keep the body, but I want the treasure, or vice versa. You can also negotiate for things outside of the game. So if you want to negotiate for lunch, or soda, or clean my room, or whatever it is, you can make that negotiation. It's limited by your own imagination. So as you slay monsters, you'll get to keep them as trophies. And any treasure that you've gained from slaying the monster doesn't get actually added into your hand until after you've finished playing cards, negotiating, getting trophies. That prevents someone from being a runaway leader by just slaying monsters, getting treasure cards that help them slay monsters. They give them more treasure cards, and soon you're just you don't want to play anymore. So so that's why we've added that as a separate step. The next thing you'll do is move monsters. So the monsters will move 1 space closer to the castle, and if they are moving from the swordsman ring and hitting walls, you'll notice that they'll take a point of damage. Here's the gazebo. I'm going to rotate him down to 2. Now the 2 is pointed toward the castle, and he destroys that wall. There are some monsters, for example this Squidzilla. Let me show you how he works. He has 4, 3, 2 points of health. Instead of ending in a 1, the way a lot of these monsters do, they end in 2. That means that they will not take damage from castle structures if they take them out. You need to hit them for 2 points of damage to slay those monsters. The last thing you'll do is place monsters, and we have this nice little monster bag that you can draw monsters out of. You'll draw a monster out, roll the die, and that tells you which area of the forest that they spawn in at. You always put the highest number pointed toward the castle. You won't stop until you've got 3 of those. There are 8 curses in here. If you draw all 8 curses on one turn, you've got to play through those 8 curses and not stop until you have 3 monsters out on the board. That's how you play the base game of Munchkin Panic rather. It also comes with this More Munchkin Mini expansion. We'll have a separate video on how to play with that, but that's really fun because it comes with an additional rule, which is you no longer have to protect the tower. So you definitely want to check out that video. So we hope you have a lot of fun with this game.